We're doing it live. F it, we'll do it live. Here's the plan. I'm going to start doing a live stream in the morning, maybe around 9:15. And I've got a bunch of stories pulled up like I normally do for my morning segment. And it just seems more fun. It really just comes down to this. Waking up every day for like 2 years, grabbing the news. I have headlines from last night and stuff like that. And then I'm like, all right, let's figure out what the big thing is to talk about in the morning. And then I'm like, let's just do a live stream. And then I was saying like I might do it Monday morning, start it off fresh. And I'm really excited for the new studio that we're going to have. It's going to be lit. But for the time being, I'm just go live, And so some people were saying like, I like the segments. Yeah, check this out. So I'm going over the math. I'm looking at it all right. I'm like, I could just go live. And then when I'm going to start talking about the segment, I just press the record button. And then I end it like I normally do and make the segment. So I can still, while I'm live streaming, upload the 10 a.m. segment. I just figured it'd be more fun to do it this way. And to be honest, a lot easier too. You know what I'm thinking? I'm probably going to live stream for like 3 or 4 hours or something. I'm just going to leave this running. And then I'll interact with chat and talk with you guys as I'm pulling up stories, reading Twitter, reading the news, and just kind of talk passively. I think this will make things a lot easier for me. Here's the other thing, too. With the 4 p.m. segment over on youtube.com/Timcast, one of the issues is I often have stories for my third segment well early into the day. And then I'm like, if I sit on this, it's going to get stale. But there's a schedule, so I'm like, we just got to change things up. And it is what it is. I don't know, man. It just seems a lot more fun. And so as I'm sitting here looking at all of this news, I'm like, here we go again. It's the same thing over and over again. Considering for the past 3 days, we've had one story, I think it makes more sense to do a live show than to just be like, press record. Once again, I'm sitting here and blah, 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 But let's talk about where we're at because we got some big news. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to press record going into my normal segment, but you'll watch me do it live. And then when I wrap, we'll stay live. I will then go into YouTube, upload that clip. Boom. You see how we do? I'm excited for that. So let's just jump into it. So we got this story from Just the News. Boebert, Hannity have heated exchange over McCarthy vote. Alternative speaker picks game show. McCarthy bid for speaker has been blocked by Boebert and a small coalition of conservative Republicans. I am no Hannity fan. Hannity, man, I love that exchange about Amazon between Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity when Tucker gave him Tucker face. Tucker face when he's like, he stands there and he does that. Because Hannity was like, it's a private business. They can do what they want. And Tucker's like, they're exploiting the working class. I just think it's funny to see that Tucker Carlson has become this, right-wing populist over the years. Now he's at odds with the corporatist neocon likes of Sean Hannity. So the reason why I launch with this story is Lauren Boebert's right. Kevin McCarthy is a bad choice. Let me show you this story here from the Daily Mail. Elon Musk says Kevin McCarthy should be speaker as voting farce reaches third day with Republicans still at stalemate after 6 ballots. That's right. We're going to number 7 now. The key story here, we got a tweet from Jack Posobiec last night. McCarthy leadership super PAC just cut a deal to not get involved in safe open seat primaries per Punchbowl News. For many anti-McCarthy votes, this was a top concern. Well, all right. That may be the end of it. The big concern for a lot of people is that Kevin McCarthy is actively working against MAGA candidates. He actively worked against Trump. So people are outright like, I don't want to support this guy. But if they agree to back off, this would mean more America First candidates, more MAGA candidates could win and gain influence. Then maybe Kevin McCarthy will get the votes. To be honest, I'm not entirely convinced because I think when you look at Boebert and Gates, their position is outright never Kevin. I kind of agree. Look, man, I'm getting lobbied from everybody on the right, and they're saying like, and not necessarily directly, but a lot of people, I've had some tweet interactions, I've had some messages, but I'm just seeing their lobbying on Twitter. I want to be clear. I'm seeing a lot of these people say, listen, man, Kevin McCarthy has made concessions. You're going to get your investigations. It's the best you will get. Even Mike Cernovich. I think Cernovich is a very smart guy. I take his insights very seriously. if you don't underestimate Mike Cernovich, he's been right about a lot of things. He called out ballot harvesting years ago. A lot of stuff too. Epstein. He was directly involved in exposing Epstein and getting that whole thing running. Him and as a lawyer and a journalist out of Miami. So mad respect for Mike Cernovich. And he says, look, Jim Jordan's, he's not going to get it. He doesn't want it. And Scalise is going to sneak in. I think he said Scalise will sneak in amnesty. So I can certainly understand why a lot of people are saying Kevin McCarthy should be speaker. Let's just get it done with. But inspired by Elon Musk saying that Kevin McCarthy should be speaker, I decided to poll my Twitter followers and ask, should Kevin McCarthy be speaker? And 88% as of the past, half an hour said no, he should not be. And look, man, the people who follow me, it's a mixed bag. I'm not, this MAGA hat wearing, Trump supporting. My Twitter account is a weird thing. I get, I tweet. Let's just say I tweet things that people on the right get mad about. It was really funny. What did I tweet? I tweeted, stop sending money to Ukraine and use that money to pay reparations to the descendants of slavery, of people who were enslaved. And then I ended up getting emails from conservatives being like, you've lost it, Tim. I can't follow you anymore. I can't believe you would support reparations. And I'm just like, how long have you followed me if you think that tweet was meant to literally advocate for reparations? Because I've actually long said outright, cash reparations, that isn't going to work. And at this point, race-based reparations won't work either. We need just class-based solutions in a general way so that no one is preferenced based on race or whatever. But my point is, I think the people who follow me understand the nuance. These are not diehard Trump supporters. These are regular people, a lot of regular people, politically active, and I would argue mostly moderate. And they are saying no to Kevin McCarthy. And that, I think, is the most important takeaway from this big battle. Reason being, Republicans only win when they convince moderates to vote for them, because the Republican Party has historically been smaller than the Democratic Party, at least in my lifetime. Now, thanks to the likes of people like Scott Pressler, that's actually been not so much the case. Scott has done such a tremendous job recruiting people, signing people up, registering voters, and cleaning up the streets that we're starting to see major shifts in Republican Party registration. However, when you look at the polls, Republicans need to convince moderates. And I'll tell you why. It really is simple, and y'all are going to love it. People on the right tend to be politically motivated. And that means when someone comes out and says something like Kevin McCarthy should be speaker, the people associated with the right say, give me one good reason. And so far, I'll say this. There have been a few, but a lot of people are saying, give me 10 good reasons. And the few good reasons are, let's just be real. I'm not going to sit here and act like there's not a single logical argument for Kevin McCarthy. Look, the GOP sucks. The establishment sucks. Kevin McCarthy has a lot of bad things about what he's supported, the narratives he's supported, the actions he and his PACs and things like that have taken. But one argument is it's the best you're going to get. You're not going to get a Byron Donalds. You're not going to get a Jim Jordan. You're not going to get a Thomas Massey. You're going to get a Kevin McCarthy, and you've got him all ready to make concessions. Kevin McCarthy opposed the $1.7 trillion omnibus bill. So from the Republican Party perspective, it's like, guys, this is progress. For me, I am not of the Republican Party perspective because I don't like the Republican Party. I like a handful of people in the Republican Party, especially right now, Lauren Boebert and Matt Gaetz at top of my list. Thomas Massey, don't get me wrong, he's for McCarthy. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's for McCarthy as well. I got no beef with them for that. I just think Kevin McCarthy is pandering, and you put him in the speakership and you're not going to get what you think you're going to get. But that being said, you hold out and there is a real fear. Right now, we had a tweet last night from Charlie Kirk, Ro Khanna, Democrat. Apparently, this is what Charlie Kirk had put out. So, if you're a fan of Charlie Kirk, Ro Khanna wanted a coalition unity government by some Democrats will come and support a speaker if they restrict Republican subpoena power. That would be the apocalypse for this midterm and for these Republicans. The only thing Republicans have right now is the ability to file subpoenas. This is what happened in 2018. Donald Trump is the president. Senate is Republican. House goes Democrat. The Democrats then use subpoena power to go after Trump and go nuts. Republicans, like Kevin McCarthy, like McConnell, many of them, actually assisted Democrats by playing the stupid game where they just drive the speed limit. Well, maybe Donald Trump really is a Russian asset, and naive little old me entertained it all the same. Well, I learned my lesson. I saw the evidence and said, hey, these people took me for a ride. They lied about all of this. The media. It was naive. It was outright. And even though I knew the media was lying, even with my experiences, I was like, look, when you see so many stories about Trump and potentially getting paid by Russia and stuff, you say, maybe we should take a look at that. And then you realize it was a hoax. Then you get the evidence it was a hoax. And not just a hoax, but a $30-something million hoax stretched out for years, and they still won't stop. And now I am pissed off. And I say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You're not going to fool me a third time. And that means my attitude is, don't care if it's Kevin McCarthy or otherwise. But I can certainly understand this. If there is a restriction on subpoena power, this midterm election will have been literally nothing. It will be the defeat. There will be nothing. There will be no inquiries. There will be no investigations. Now, that's a scary prospect. Still, I'm going to tell you, it does not make me support Kevin McCarthy. Where I stand, we were talking with Blake Masters over on Timcast IRL just before the break for Christmas and New Year's. And I said, I got to be honest. I know it might sound really bad to a lot of people. I can see Will Chamberlain's eyes rolling when I say this because, Will's a good friend. I kind of like the revenge. It feels good. It feels very, very good. And if nothing else, there is an emotional satisfaction that we do not often get. Seeing Kevin McCarthy fail in 6 ballots is cathartic. Because I just, sitting down with Milo Yiannopoulos. Well, so let me slow down. Go back to the Blake. This is what I said with Blake Masters. Blake seems to be more of a guy who's like, come on, let's try and get something done. And you know what? It's funny because I'm talking with Dave Smith. Dave Smith's also an awesome guy. And we're arguing. I'm like, look, man, I know Trump isn't a perfect candidate. I just don't think we'll ever get one. But he's the best on foreign policy, despite all of the bad foreign policy. So when I'm looking at Donald Trump in 2019, 2020, and I'm starting to come around, I'm like, here's a guy who actively is working on peace agreements, getting our troops out of the Middle East. I will take it. And Dave Smith's response is, no, he's bad. Stop voting for the lesser of two evils. And I said, you are a revolutionary. I am a reformer. And I think I don't see anything wrong with that. I think we take our small victories as often as we can. But then we come to this. Should Kevin McCarthy be speaker? And, I can't get in that reformer position. Right now, you've got a lot of people saying this is the reform victory. Kevin McCarthy has conceded a lot of points. He's met with Donald Trump. He's gotten Donald Trump's endorsement, Marjorie Taylor Greene's endorsement. To be honest, you can look at it one of two ways. You can look at it like Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene have given into the machine, or you can recognize that Kevin McCarthy is now coming to the table with Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump's retiring, and I mean that somewhat figuratively. I think he's slowly bowing out. I think he's old. I think he's stressed. I mean, look, man, when the FBI raids your home, that's going to do something to you, even if you are Donald Trump. And so it may go to DeSantis, someone younger. Maybe that's the reason Donald Trump goes to McCarthy and they strike a deal. But you can also consider from the reform position that Kevin McCarthy came out against the $1.7 trillion omnibus because he knows he needs you. So there is a logical challenge that I see. That reformer in me says, I think we already got a lot. But then there's that obstinate rage within me where I'm just like, I am so sick of these people, man, that it feels good just to see them lose. But then there's the fear. Is Kevin McCarthy a uniparty Democrat? I'd say yeah. Liz Cheney endorsed him. Okay, then. What if he wants to lose? You see, if Kevin McCarthy wins, he's going to face pressure from the Republicans. They're going to say, we have the seat. We have the speaker suite. You must allow these things. They will get committees. They will get subpoena power. What if the establishment is hoping for this? What if the uniparty establishment is like, Trump has his thumb on McCarthy. Not like he's got a lot of power, but enough to push McCarthy in a direction we don't like. How can we sack this so that it forces an Amash or a Cheney, some kind of unity government, to prevent a real investigation? These are the kinds of nuanced thoughts that keep me up at night as I'm sitting there being like, man, do we just got to get McCarthy in? Because otherwise the Democrats are going to use this as an excuse to block any real investigation. Scary thoughts. And then the emotional joy. You know, there's like a devil on my shoulder. There's there's no angel and devil. It's a dude in a suit sipping tea being like, let's be realistic here. Are you really going to get Jim Jordan? Are you really going to get Byron Donalds, Freedom Caucus, as a Speaker of the House? Very, very unlikely. And if you don't support Kevin McCarthy, they may try and put out some kind of unity party, or Kevin McCarthy could cut a deal with Democrats and then block investigations. And I'm looking at this little guy in a suit and I'm like, that's a good point. And I look over and there's a legit devil and he's like, it feels good, man. Tell him to F off. And I'm like, I kind of like it. Look. If we just keep doing the same thing over and over again, are we not insane people? If we keep sticking our hand in the fire, are we not insane people? At a certain point, you got to be like, I understand you turned the heat down, dude, but I'm still not going to stick my hand on the stove. That's kind of how I feel. My analogies, how about that? The first time this raging fire was placed on and you stuck my hand in it, it hurt. And then over and over again, people keep saying, just try it one more time. And then finally, you get a Donald Trump, and I'm like, finally, there's some relief. Is it perfect? No, the water, look, I burned my hand, and you've got hot water next to it, but hot water is still not as hot as the fire. It's actually an improvement. We're getting there. It's warm water. Now you got Kevin McCarthy. Trump's come in and turned the fire down a little bit, and you still want me to stick my hand in it. I'll tell you this. Thomas Massie is a bowl full of ice. Byron Donalds even. I'm not super familiar with Byron Donalds. What I do know is I like what he has to say, and some people have said some good things about him. And so here's where I'm at. I know who Kevin McCarthy is. I'm interested in anyone else. Never Kevin. Let's take a look at this story from the Daily Mail. Byron Donalds says it's up to Kevin McCarthy if he drops out and insists Speaker is not Trump's decision as Republicans continue intense negotiations into how to end the farce. Byron Donalds on Wednesday became conservative Kevin McCarthy's critics' choice for House Speaker after Jim Jordan was their pick on Tuesday. I got to be honest, that is very, very silly. That on Tuesday, they're all voting for Byron Donalds. And then come the next day, they're now, on Tuesday, voting Jim Jordan. I got it backwards. And then the next day they switch. And full disclosure, when I bought shares on PredictIt for Jim Jordan, not necessarily because I think he's going to win, but because I think he was going to be he'd be a prominent figure in the opposing Kevin McCarthy. And it was 12 cents a share. And then all of a sudden everyone flipped to supporting Byron Donalds. And now it's 6 cents and I lost $50. Urgh. That's how the prediction markets work. No, I don't really care that much. It was, I've never placed a bet on PredictIt, or I maybe have once, I don't remember when, but I had like 4 cents in my account. And so I was like, let's try this. Let's see how this thing works. Basically, the way PredictIt works is you can buy shares. Who will be the Speaker of the House? Kevin McCarthy is in the lead. It bounces between him and Scalise. And it's like 50 cents per share. And then when it cashes out, you get something like 95 cents per share. So that's the way it works, I guess. So for Jim Jordan, it was 12 cents per share. You put in 100. I put in, I think $100. I got 835 shares. Now it dropped to 6 cents. If I sell those out, I get like $50 back or something like that. But here's another reason why I like Byron Donalds. There's a viral clip going around. It's really good, where they ask him if he fears the backlash. And he's like, what does he say? He's like, I'm 6'5", 275 pounds. I'm not scared of any of that. I like that. So we'll see how this plays out. Quote, President Trump has been in a position that for several months, knowing President Trump, he doesn't change his mind, Donalds began. That's all well and good, but the members are going to decide this process. And if you know, that's no disrespect at all to President Trump. That's just the reality of the House. I like this guy. I saw him. I think he was one of the guys with Nancy Mace calling out those lying leftist activists. And I actually met him briefly. We were at the Project Veritas party. I saw Matt Gaetz, and I walked right up, and I was like, finally get to meet this guy. And he was like, how's it going? We've been trying to get Matt Gaetz on the show because we've been fans. We're bigger fans now. He's at the top of my list, to be completely honest. I love that fire. I love that passion. I just love the fact that someone is willing to look into the eyes of the machine and just say, no, either calmly or with a bit of aggression. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Byron Donalds can do and has to say. And with that tweet from Jack Posobiec, I think it's an important point where we may end up. McCarthy leadership super PAC cut a deal to not get involved in safe open seat primaries. A huge concern. Can you trust them? Maybe. I mean, you got Amuse down here saying BS. I kind of agree. So I don't know. At what point do we give in? I'm sort of feeling at this point satisfied emotionally. And now I'm ready to actually see something get done. I don't know what that means. I got that fear that we put in Kevin McCarthy and then nothing changes. I've got that fear that this is exactly what the establishment wants. Kevin McCarthy is forced to concede to the Democrats and then no subpoenas. Ian Crossland on Timcast IRL, got to give him the shout out. He rolled a hot 20. For those that don't know the reference, in D&D, you either roll a 1 or a 20, a critical failure or a critical success, and that's Ian. He either says something ridiculously stupid or something just insanely brilliant. And he nailed this one. He said, no investigation could be better than an investigation, because if McCarthy gets in and they do a sham investigation to placate the normies and convince them nothing's happening, then you'll never get to the bottom of this. And I'm just like, my man, right there. That's my fear. McCarthy gets in, they get certain Republicans on committees, you get subpoena power, and then what? As everyone mentions, Benghazi all over again. Is that what we have here? I don't know. Yeah, here we go. Columbia Bugle. Rep. Matt Gaetz fires back at Trey Gowdy's clown show comment. Trey Gowdy would know something about clown shows. That's probably how a lot of us would categorize the Benghazi hearings that resulted in people screaming at each other and a big report, but no real accountability. There it is. Gaetz knows his stuff. And that's the thing, man. You will get your sham hearings. You will get your sham investigation. Do we just concede and recognize that it's going to be McCarthy? Maybe. No, I mean it. I'm not trying to be a defeatist, but the reformer in me says there's been a stand, and that's a powerful rebuke of the machine. We need some concessions. There may be certain concessions. Do we accept it now that we're going to get what we get? I don't know. The poll. Vox Populi, Vox Dei. Dei, however you pronounce it. Should Kevin McCarthy be speaker? Since 8:51 a.m., 19,520 votes still saying no. So far be it from me to act like I know what should or should not be. What I can only tell you is the people don't want Kevin McCarthy. The only people who do are the establishment Republicans and those who fear him as GOP leader. And I'll give a shout out. We got to do a fact check here. A lot of people are pointing out on the World Economic Forum website, McCarthy is listed as the majority leader in the House. And people are like, how is the World Economic Forum already saying this? As if it's to imply that they've propped him up or there's a conspiracy. No. McCarthy is the majority leader already. He's the GOP leader in the House. Now that they've taken the majority, that means he's the majority and the leader. It does not mean he was elected by the House to be speaker. It means he was elected by like the RNC establishment or something like that. He's the majority leader. And then Hakeem Jeffries is the minority leader. He just is. He's the leader for the Democrats, and they're now in the minority. So we'll see how all this plays out. Here's what we're going to do. For those that caught this clip on YouTube, I'm just running a live stream right now. So most people are watching live, or I should say there are people who are watching live. If you catch this on YouTube as a clip, come hang out in the live stream on the channel. And I think what I'm going to start doing is just like maybe around 9 or 9:15, maybe 9. I think 9's a good time. I'm just going to go live. And then what I do is when I get to the segment portion, I'm just going to hit record. I'm going to wrap up this segment right now, upload it, and we're going to keep the live stream going. And I got a whole bunch of other stories that I can record on and probably just do a whole bunch of clips. So I don't know, just here to have fun, chilling, talking nonstop, read some super chats. I wonder how many hours per day I will be able to do this. But for the time being, we will have the next clip up on this channel at 1 p.m. as per usual. The structure may change sometime next week. I'm just kind of feeling things out, seeing how things will go. And for those watching in the YouTube recorded clip, stick around, come hang out live. And for everybody watching live, we're going to keep it going. So I'm going to wrap up that clip right now. I'll see y'all then. And I just hit the stop record button, but we're still live. And so y'all are just going to hang out, I guess, as I do my normal stuff. So I'll tell you what I'm doing right now. And I'm kind of working out the details on how we do this. So right now I'm pulling up YouTube and I'm going to hit upload. And I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I'm like, can you go? I'm pretty sure you can go live. You can go live and upload videos at the same time. So why not? And that's what I'll be doing. And then you guys can chat. And I want to give a shout out to Hassan Piker, because this is kind of like how he does things in a way. And I kind of realized there's no reason I couldn't just go live for like 12 hours. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason I couldn't just leave this thing going. I can get up and go cook eggs and just leave this running. I don't see why not. So what I'm really excited for is what we're gonna with the new studio. We're going to have a new space. It's going to be really awesome. And then I'm thinking of actually having someone come hang out in the room. The segments would still be exactly as I did them. But periodically I could, after I wrap a 20-minute segment like I just did, I can then shout out maybe like Hannah Claire, maybe Phil Labonte. I got to call Phil because Phil was expressing interest in being involved in doing some kind of show. And that would be epic. So I got to type in some stuff for this YouTube video. Let's see what we got. What are we on? Vote number 7? Is that where we're at? Yeah, I think we're doing the 7th vote. I lost count. That's how insane things have been. All right, let's put it up on the playlist. I'm digging this. This is fun. And the other thing I'm wondering too is like maybe starting next week, instead of putting clips on this channel where we're live, I just do the live stream here and then move the clips over to youtube.com/Timcast. The challenge with that is that all of those clips have thumbnails and the ones on this channel don't. And so I'm just like, maybe I do the other way around. Maybe I go live on the other channel and then put the clips on this channel. Man, I really don't know. And then I throw ads in. Throw in some ads. That's how you do it. Every like 7 minutes or so. I wonder how this will play out. Seriously, I have no idea. I wonder if live streaming will actually make the videos do worse, and then who knows. Missing aspect ratio. I'm trying to put in an end screen. It says end screen cannot be imported because of mismatching video aspect ratio. Whatever. It is what it is. Let's roll. That's Bokus back there. He's eating his dry food and he's making a huge mess. Bokus has been doing all right. He's very gaunt. So, we're trying. He's been a lot better getting his subcutaneous fluids and his red blood cell hemoglobin hormone treatment. And then Ian wants to get him stem cells. So they take his own stem cells from his fat, multiply them, and then put them back in his body. Isn't that crazy? All right, here we go. Is this going to work? Schedule. That's cool. So I just basically got that clip ready to go for 10 a.m. as I normally do while I'm live streaming. Yeah, and it seems to be working. There we go. What do we got? Let's see. Just Jill says, oh, wow, I didn't think you would start the 9 a.m. today. I'm late to the party. I figured you would be going live later when Congress hits the floor. Bokus is chilling. Yeah, I'm chilling. So here's the other thing, too. Like, I got all this stuff pulled up. I already got other segments that I could record that I should, like, here's the other thing about doing it this way. When I was doing 5-second segments per day, I had a bunch of other stories. I would do 3, what I would consider to be, like, smaller cultural stories. And then when I cut those, because I just don't have time to run a company, 35 employees plus some contractors, and do 4 hours per day, I was like, but then I was thinking with this new year, and doing a morning live stream. I got the 10 a.m. segment up. Some people want the segment because they want to be able to take that specific portion and share it, and they want to watch that. All right. But then I've got other stuff that that I could record on. So, what I can do here is I can close out these tabs. And then, did that not work? Close out these tabs. And then we have, we got this one. We have this story here. Giggle for Girl CEO sued by biological men after being prevented from using female-only social media. I used to do like 10-minute segments on this and stories like this where I just pull up the article and I talk for 10 minutes. And those would get hundreds of thousands of hits. And I stopped doing that. And now I think I can bring those clips back by just doing like a 9 to noon or a 9 to 2 live stream like this. So I'm not going to immediately record talking about this, but I will in a second. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to be browsing Twitter and hanging out. So y'all are free to hang out and watch the live stream as I kind of just do my thing and drink my morning coffee. Mark Giadetti, Hannah Claire for morning co-host. Phil Labonte replaces Ian on IRL. Ian gets the cooking show he was promised back in the day. I don't know, man. So here's the deal with Ian. Because, of course, there's the Fire Ian faction who are always commenting. They're like, fire Ian, fire Ian. We have more people saying we love Ian than we have people saying fire Ian. That's just a reality. And I like what Ian brings to the show. But there are those moments, you know what I mean? The semantic arguments. Ian, love you, buddy, but, What is this? Durazno Kid says, Tim, time to put on a suit, bro. Nope. Jack Bailey says, Tim, be careful about growing too far too fast. Don't spread yourself too thin. Be like a tree. Spend time strengthening, establishing, growing roots. Then focus on upward growth and then your bark to protect yourself. Protect yourself. I hear you. Here's the point. We got a coffee shop to open, my friends. One of the reasons why I had to cut out the 3 segments and weekends. I used to do 7 days a week, Monday to Monday. I would do 5 segments on this channel and then 1 on youtube.com/Timcast. Then I launched Timcast IRL and I would do the same thing. And it was like 4 hours of content per day plus 3 hours on the weekends. Or it was like 2 hours on the weekends. And then I'm like, okay, I can do this because I talk too much as it is. All I do is talk nonstop. It's crazy. But I couldn't go to the bank and cash checks. I couldn't talk to my lawyer and fill out paperwork. And so as much as it was growing on social media, it wasn't growing as a business. More money was coming in. Podcast was growing. And then I'm like, okay, I got to get weekends off because I need to be able to spend time with family and I need to be able to do other things. And then after 2020, I was like, okay, I gotta cut out these 3 segments because that keeps me from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Then after 4 p.m., I eat food and immediately I'm getting ready for IRL. I got to cut those segments out. That gets me done around 3 p.m. Now I can exercise, eat food, and then do IRL. This year, I'm thinking I can produce way more clips, talk about way more stories like this one if I do a live morning stream for 3 hours as opposed to just sitting here all day and then doing 3 clips. So maybe that's one way to do it. And I think it is. The other thing is just plain and simple. It gets boring. Same thing every day. I want to do something different. So we'll read Super Chats for now. And then maybe what I'll do is we'll talk about this story from Post Millennial. And then the other thing you'll notice is this channel is not set up with any kind of overlay for a wide shot. It's literally just the article shot. Hopefully Monday we'll have something different. And I'll have to get water because, talk a lot. Here's a good one. Nick says, I like the live streams. Me too. KT Sky D says, don't get rid of Ian. Needs his own show as well. I definitely agree. I think Ian is great. It was shakier when he started. He's improved dramatically, but he's a wild card. And, a lot of people don't like his opinions. But look at the lineup we have right now. Luke is seasonal. Luke's going to leave in a couple weeks to go back to do his thing. Really, really love having Luke around. Especially, we were at an event in Times Square, and it's like I'm on one screen, then you got Ian, then you got Luke. And a dude came up to us like, Tim and Luke, yo. And he like fist bumps. Yo, me and Luke were doing videos together 10 years ago. We did a memory lane thing on the Timcast members only section. We played a video from 10 years ago about two-party depression syndrome or something it was called. And so, me and Luke have been working together on and off periodically. We traveled to a lot of the same places. We went to Fukushima together. So it's really awesome to have him on the show. But he's going to dip out and do his thing because he runs his own company. He does not work for this company. He's here as a guest, same as any other guest, but just more consistently. We got to get Shim Sham back. Seamus Coughlin, what are you doing? Seamus Coughlin needs to be the summer host, and Luke is the winter host. So it's time to get Seamus Coughlin back on the show. Big fans of Freedom Tunes. It's really fun and funny to have Seamus around. But then, of course, we have Mary Morgan, who guest hosts, and Hannah Claire Brimolo. So we're doing our thing. See, right now, I'm not recording a segment, right? This would be the perfect moment to have Phil Labonte or Hannah Claire hanging out in the new studio with actual chairs, actual wide camera, actual producer. Oh, man. That would be a dream come true. To finally graduate from the in my bedroom kind of vibe into an actual studio, but still keep that kind of thing, Patriot American says, I can't see Timcast without Ian. It just wouldn't be the same without him. Yeah, man. We've had our biggest shows, our most views, and with Ian being who he is. And when we were at Turning Point USA, we're backstage, and I'm like, either we're gonna get boos or the loudest cheers ever when Ian walks on stage. And everyone said it's gonna be the loudest cheer. It is going to be the loudest cheer. And so it was. I walk out, everyone's like, woo, yeah, they're clapping. And then I sit down, and then I'm like, Luke Gridkowski. And they're like, yeah, woo. And then I'm like, Ian Crossland, wah! Yo, man. It's funny. When Ian says he either rolls a 1 or a 20, his fan base is also either a 1 or a 20. Like, people really hate him, but people really love him. And I think the reason people really like Ian, he's true to himself. He is funny when he hits the nail on the head, and he brings something interesting to the show that doesn't exist in other shows. Even like Michael Malice, Luke agree. We don't want a cookie cutter show where it's like we get 3 people of the same opinion to say the same things. Even when Ian does say something where he doesn't understand, I think it is good. All right. Let's read some super chats. And then I'm not going to talk as much on the stream, so you guys can chat. I'm gonna be reading the news and seeing what's going on, and record a couple more segments. One thing I might do today, just to see, is I might record like 2 more segments and then upload them to this channel, and then cut the stream and get ready for my 4 p.m. segment as an entirely separate recorded thing. And then we'll see how things go next week. What I really wanted to happen was the launch of the new studio, because it's huge, massive. And it's going to be so much fun and so much more chill. So we'll see. But I'll grab some super chats. Sparky says, didn't Jimmy Dore do this before Piker? Maybe he did. Is that what Jimmy does? He just goes live and then he pulls clips from his stream? Because we do this for Timcast IRL, to be completely honest. So it's not, I'm somewhat giving Hassan a shout out. My main point with it is, with IRL, we go live and then I have a timer. And when we start a segment, we pull up a news story, I hit the timer. We try and do a segment around 10 to 20 minutes. I'll let it go sometimes. And then when it's like, okay, we're going in circles a little bit, or we hit the nail on the head, we got the point. Hit the timer and then wrap that clip up. And then Kellen will cut that clip from the full show and then upload that to the channel. And most of our views on Timcast IRL come from clips, not the full show, but the full show gets more views than any individual clip. You see how it works? We put up 5 clips per show. I think we do 4 per day on average, and then we save 1 for the weekend that's less topical and more evergreen. And then we end up getting like 500,000 to 1 million views from the clips, but then the show itself does like 350 to 500,000. Nothing 4 years says, I would love to talk to Ian. As a wacky occultist myself, it could be very enlightening for both of us. I hope the house stays speakerless. Hi, Tim. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Excuse me. Carnal says, when will we see Elon back on IRL? He's fantastic and would be a great recurring guest when he's not doing groundwork reporting. We were supposed to have him on, and then we ended up canceling the holiday for the holidays because we had, I think, like 3 guests, then 1 canceled, and I'm like, meh. But Elad's great. We really got into a heated argument. I had to apologize because I was a bit rude because Elad's kind of a neocon, you know. He's like, I want a unipolar world that the U.S. is in control of, and I understand the war, and I'm just like, I'm getting angry because like that's my thing, you know. What Dirty the Grower says, Hassan got mentally shook by Candyman Sam. Oh man. Daimyo says Ian would turn us all into graphene. You betcha. Cool Guy for Life says, I love both Ian and Luke, but to be honest, I'm here for Tim. I really do appreciate that. B. Rodriguez says, bring on Salty. Yo, I'd love to bring on Salty. We got to figure that one out. Salty Cracker. The Salty Army is always in the IRL chat posting salt shakers. So that'd be cool. Smash that like button. Become a member at timcast.com if you want to support our work. What I'm hoping for is in the next couple of weeks, this morning live stream is more than just me sitting in like my current house. You can see the kitchen behind me. And because it's like a living room kitchen split. And actually get in the studio once it's done. One of the problems with the new studio is, get this. Is it Sparky says, Jimmy got the format from YouTube Joe Rogan. Is that what Joe was doing? I don't know. Just go live for several hours and then pull clips when you do. We can't get internet set up at the new headquarters because there's no materials. Thanks, Joe Biden. No joke. It took us like 4 months to get internet at the castle. And so we had this really garbage 20 megabit stuff. We were like, let's do the stream. Otherwise, what can we do? Because we had to leave New Jersey because of the lockdowns. And then with getting the actual like high grade stuff installed, it's like 4 months. Finally gets installed. Then we had problems with it. Got it fixed. Now it works. Finally. Now we're looking at Freedomistan, the new headquarters. And they've come to us and said, we got the permits approved. We've got the crews ready. There's no materials to build it. And I'm like, what are you talking about, man? What I think it is that the cost of materials is so high based on how much we've paid and the quote they've given. They're like, we can't do it. Because obviously the materials exist, but they're like, they can't do it. So I'm about to call them up and be like, what's the number? No kidding, man. It costs like $30,000 to get these internet installed. And then when you're check this out. You live in a city. If we were to set up in the DC area and do our show from any major city, even Charlestown, our internet would be like $100 a month. But then we got to be in a city. Then you've got, I just don't even want to get into it. You want to get internet set up for a business out in the middle of nowhere, it's like $2,000 per month and like $30,000 to install. Crazy Savior says, as much as I hate it when Ian says something like gold is a superconductor, I definitely notice his absence from the show. Yeah, there's something about it. Last night we were laughing a whole lot. It was fun. And there have been some really good philosophical conversations that have come up because of Ian. Notably, during the pandemic, when he brought up Ebola, we were all like, no lockdowns, no lockdowns. And then he said, what if it was an airborne Ebola? Would you be in favor of locking things down if people were like throwing up black goo and bleeding from their eyes? And we're like, okay, that's a good question. I still lean towards no lockdowns, but that is a good question. Is it the severity of the illness that would make us in favor of the lockdown? Fair point. Fair point, man. And so ultimately, where we arrive was people should choose to go out if they want to go out. If you're scared of an airborne Ebola, you stay home. My position is still the same, but you really made me think on that one. Because if it was Ebola killing 20% of the population and you had people going out and spreading it, there's an interesting question there. It's an interesting question about the gender stuff in Florida as well. So let's do this. Let's record a segment on the Giggle for Girls CEO being sued by a biological male in about a minute. And then I'll schedule that one for maybe 1 p.m. or something. And then I'm just going to keep the live stream going. I don't know if I can just sit here and talk nonstop for 5 hours. But I'm going to start just doing my normal thing, reading the news, and then, we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll get up and bounce around, but just leave this running. Cool Guy for Life says, I love Ian and Luke. I'm really here for Tim. Plus, who plays the Telecaster? And when can we get some more tunes? I can do that. Sparky says, Ian often throws a wrench into a carefully crafted point with nonsense, distracting and confusing for some. Every so often, he's insightful. That's the thing, man. We're trying to get Ian to roll more 20s than ones. So I've had conversations with him because, like, when he rolls a 20, man. But when he rolls a 1, come on. So the other day, we opened a segment about the coming economic collapse. And then Ian immediately within 30 seconds says, tell me about your religion. And I'm like, come on. Like, I literally just introduced a story about the coming COVID variant, which could destroy the economy. All right? We can't do it. Let me do this. I'm going to get up real quick. Let me show you something. People be like, who plays a telly? This is my Strat. There you go. My Stratocaster. This is what I play. I have the telly because I like playing the Telecaster. But I like Telecaster, so I have 3 upstairs. I have an Acoustasonic, and I just really like the Stratocaster. Way better. Above all, have you watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure yet? I have not. Nice bar top. Oh, this thing's great, dude. Look at this. This is awesome. A beaut. I don't know. It's got a whammy bar, and then it's got the bridge, I guess, that can also bend. I don't know what it's called. I'm not like a professional musician or anything, but I will tell you. Let me read some super chat. Someone said use Starlink. So I have Starlink out in the mountains. I use it to stream, but it doesn't hold strong signal yet. We've got multiple Starlinks, and we can bond them, but it would get us like 12 megabits per second, and live streams are 6, which means you have almost no buffer room, and there will be chopping and frame drops and things like that. Right now we have 1,000. We got like a gigabit something. I got to tune this stuff up because we were gone for a couple of weeks. Tim Chrysler says, would love analysis of Russell Brand, Matt Kennard discussion, corporate hegemony overlaid with S2 underground 5th generational warfare and Twitter files. You know, I went on Russell Brand's show, and we're talking about having him come out here when he can and come on the show. I'm a big fan. Russell's fantastic, man. Mr. Dyson says, Tim, I worked for a startup, and your workload is fairly common for owners. I would just say take a moment to be still and enjoy the quiet moments. Yeah, that's what I think we're going to do on the weekends. So what we've been doing on weekends is leaving in the morning and driving within the range of the area on the East Coast, because we're 3 hours from Philadelphia. So if we leave at 9 a.m., we get to Philly by noon. We can hang out in the city. We can go eat somewhere nice. Check out the Sugar House Casino. I haven't been there in a minute. And then spend the night. Then Sunday come back and get to do something different. Otherwise, it's just monotonous. But also, it's about like going to different places and talking to people. I really want to go to Charleston, West Virginia. It's like a 5-hour drive. So here's this guitar. I'll show you my other one. My Taylor. I have a McPherson upstairs in the main studio. Extremely expensive guitar, man. Perry Elsie says, Tim, looking at derivatives. Scott, Tim, I sent you an anime that was inspired by D&D villain as the main character. Your brother opened it live, wanted to make sure you got it. It's called Overlord. Sent a book as well. I'll take a look. I don't know. Philly is rotting. Yeah, Philly is rotting, man. Aaron Davis says, tell Ian to check out the new Fenris engine from Mars Engines. I know he loves futuristic technology. Love the early morning live stream. Keep it up. We're working on a whole bunch of songs, a whole bunch of them. But it's so hard. Like, it is legit hard to do all this stuff, man. No joke. So Carter Banks is our main music guy. He's doing all the work. And it's legit tough, man. Let me Yeah, we're gonna leave that as it is. Yeah, it's hard because I've got like 50 songs. We've gone through all of them, and then producing them, getting them good, all of that stuff is just not as simple. Above all says, did you hear what happened to Jeremy Renner? I did. Jeremy Renner, man, he was trying to help a family member who was stuck in the snow. Apparently, his snowplow started to roll away, and then when he tried jumping back into it, fell and got run over by his own snowplow. Philip Ash says, favorite gun to shoot and or own. Thanks for all the content, man. I got goats and chickens inspired by you. Cool. I got a 357 Magnum lever action. That is my favorite. It is easy to reload. It's a tube mag. Super easy to reload. Very smooth. And I just don't miss with it. So that's fun. We go to the range and we have like 30 to 50 yards. And I hit every target, no matter how small. And that's like the one gun I don't miss with. I have a 1911, really nice Springfield, and my accuracy with the handgun at 30 yards is like 2 of 7. And so I was just like, eh. But it's been a while since I've gone to the range, man. Been a while. Nathos says, having any form of occultist on the show makes it great. My least favorite episodes are the ones with 4 Christian conservatives and Tim being the only push against their views. Ian's wacky but necessary. As long as he gets into the conversation, you know what I mean? If he's not in it, Last responder says, when will you open the coffee shops and other venues? Will you do these live segments there? Possibly, yes. Maybe talk some normies occasionally or too much of a security risk. No, we'll have security. I'm really excited for the venue we're opening up because it means we're thinking of a way to make it so that if you're a member at timcast.com, you get like a special access of some sort. Maybe Ian's Crystal Cove, the hangout, will be a members only area. And it's like, you know, if you're a member of the website, $10 a month, come in and hang out. And I think, you know, a lot of people will be awesome. We'll have a good time, I should say. It'll be awesome for a lot of people. King Solo Wing says, Tim, you can't have weekends off, missed the T-files, and complained it wasn't around your schedule. With Ian, I would rather have some roll 15s all day than Ian's lack of experience. He's the child. The complaint I had about the Twitter files was not that it was on a weekend. It was that it was on a weekend at dinner time. And my complaint is not that I missed it, because I'm on Twitter all the time. My complaint is the story is dead. We talked about this with the NSA leaks from Glenn Greenwald. They slow rolled the stories, and then it just people lost interest. All right, Short Bus Bully says, seems like Brett held down the fort pretty well during your break. He's a stand-up dude that seems like he'd be counted on. Yeah, dude, Brett is absolutely fantastic. Brett's got a good American dream story. He started making videos on Instagram. I'm browsing Instagram and I'm being fed rollerblade videos. Instagram gives me like scooting, biking, blading, and I've been rollerblading since I was a little kid. Skateboarding more seriously most of my life. And then I was just like, look, I'm 30. I'm about to be 37. I'm not going to go tray flip crook down a 10-stair rail, man. I've been there, done that. Not literally. I've never tray flip crooked a handrail. But I've done my share of, nollie flip crooked grinds and nollie heel flip frontside crooks and all that stuff. You know. So now I'm just like, I want to just get some air and just cruise around. And I've been rollerblading since I was a little kid, played hockey. And I saw these videos. I'm like, I've never done that, you know. So I just want to hop around in the mini ramp, get some air, just chill. And I saw this video from Brett, and it was I think he called it audio on, I think it was called. And then I'm like, this dude's amazing. So I hit him up and I was like, bro, come skate. Would love to have you come out. We're trying to do some skate stuff. And then he was like, whoa, holy crap, for sure. We brought him out, and then I was like, him and his friend Andy, and I said, we could use you guys here. We have various jobs we need, nothing crazy. So we had him do filming for the vlog. And then eventually we realized he was like an expert on all things pop culture. I remember we're driving in a car coming back from a movie or something. And I mentioned watching House. And then he just starts going off like, yeah, well, that episode you're talking about was actually directed by this guy. And the interesting thing about his style was that he was doing these episodes. And I was like, wait, you know who directed the individual episode of House? I was like, well, we got to do a pop culture show, bro. You got to host that. Like, you know all this. And then Cassandra knows Mary. And Mary is funny, edgy, and has that good charisma, but also was writing about pop culture. And so we asked her to do the show as well. Let me tune this to your guitar. How fun is this? All right. Jason Dixon says, I'm considering dropping my 30-month YouTube sub and putting that money in the Timcast website. What are your thoughts on this? I would recommend it. People can become members on YouTube, but we shifted everything to timcast.com. And it's crazy because we were doing a show, I think it was with Milo. And I was like, become a member at timcast.com. We're going to have a show. And then all of a sudden it was like members were signing up on YouTube. And I'm like, guys, I really do appreciate you're signing up to be members on YouTube. But you got to become a member at timcast.com. So, but there are a lot of people who told us that they signed up to become members, both. And that wasn't a mistake. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm not going to take it down. If people are like, they want to do a recurring sub just because they support the channel, so we just leave it up. Play some Mr. Bond. What is this? Skipped my super chat. Which one? King Solo Wings? Did I skip it? Was I about to read it? Is that what happened? Or did I not read it? I thought I did read it. Let me go make sure I didn't. Look, I can't read every single super chat. I try. But we're just chilling. This is just, I'm hanging out. Normally, I'm cooking eggs at this point. And then Allison's out taking care of administrative work right now. So she might come back at some point. That's the thing about doing the morning show is like, for now, I can record these segments in my house. But doing an actual morning show is going to require an isolated space. I was thinking about doing it at the Timcast IRL studio just for the time being, and I'm kind of like, it's a different setup, you know? It's a different room. This is, I don't know, it works better than that for now. I don't see your super chat. What's going on? Solo Wings. Where's it at? It's gone. Did it get deleted? I thought I saw it. I remember saying your name, right? Defamation League. There's a lot of super chats I didn't read. Can't read them all, man. And then often what I do before I record a segment is, where is it? It's not here. I don't know, man. I usually play a few songs before I record to get the vocal cords all warmed up. Now I'm just talking nonstop, so I don't know if I'll need to do that. Party Time says, why don't you do a documentary explanation, members only, vids on things like Occupy and other things you've done? Yeah, one of the things that we want to do is a Crossfire style show where, you know, one of the ideas was to have Hannah Claire as the host because she's very much like I don't know, like neutral, middle of the road kind of personality professional. And we would get, you know, a petroleum engineer and an environmental activist to sit down and talk. A coal miner and an urban liberal environmental activist, things like that. Yeah. Jason Dixon says, I was a member on both, was one of your very first. Appreciate it, man. Seriously. Split says, if you were denied a date 6 times, you'd be arrested for stalking. Don't forget to check out Dave Landau's Normal World. Yeah, man. Warapachanga? Hey, Tim. Happy New Year. It's been a while since you talked about Chicago. Looks like Lori is on her way out. The city is an ish show. I sometimes want to see it burn. How screwed is that? I was just in Chicago, man. I was hanging out there. Not fun. Tim AR. Oh, good. We shall start with some praise and worship this morning via Timcast. Morning who? Carolyn Oliver says, did you see Tom McDonald got #1 on Billboard for pop? Very proud of him. Any update on dragging him out there? I've talked to him periodically. He comes out. He can come out whenever he wants. It is what it is. He's a busy guy. I'm a busy guy. A lot of people are busy. So, but man, shout out. He's doing better and better and better. It's awesome. CS says, Tim, I like these live sessions. Love the conversation of music, hobbies, etc. mixed with politics. Ian is awesome, even if he rolls ones. Oh, man, I messed that one up already, huh? Man, just not here for it today. Dungeon says, Tim, are you interested in doing a D&D show? I'm an experienced DM, 5 years and I am local, South Central PA. Yeah, hit up Ian. We've been wanting to do a D&D show for a while, but it's just not easy. With Dungeons & Dragons, you need a charismatic DM who can control the situation, know when not to control the situation, and that's the challenge. Yeah, so this is some song that I've been writing. I got a couple of them. Some of them are really weird. I like the people who are in the chat being like, I don't like watching this. Well, why are you here, dude? Like, just, chill. Go somewhere else. I don't know. Figured just going live is something to do. And so we did. Whatever. I got to record on this. Look, we're sitting here with this article pulled up because I don't have any other kind of overlay. Yeah. Yeah, words. Dark Shadow says, as a musician, I appreciate all guitars. I've got 20 myself. Your songs are fantastic. Can't wait for them on Spotify. Words in a Book is my fave. Can't record. I don't know. We tried recording it several times, My favorite thing about the songs we put out were people who are these leftists who are like, there's no way Tim's singing that. It's not real. Tim Pool's not singing it. Michael TB says, Tim, call your morning show Real Beanie with Tim Pool just to piss off that Dilbert guy. What? Why would I want to piss off the Dilbert guy? Do people not like Scott Adams? I think Scott Adams is all right. Everybody's worthy of criticism, but he's all right. Daft End said, did y'all see that Afro Man got swatted because I got high guy? He released an album on YouTube a week ago. Well, he got swatted? That's so ridiculous. Griffin says you should try and coordinate live shows throughout the day from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Doesn't necessarily have to be just you, like a TV channel. Yes. So someone asked when Shane Cashman's show is coming out. It was supposed to be Halloween, but we're trying to get everything built. We're renovating an old house for space, ordering the equipment. Everything's backlog. Everything's delayed. It sucks. Brandel says, this is filling the void in my life since Crowder disappeared. Yeah, where's Crowder, man? Yeah, but Trump says, Tim, you just need some coffee brand coffee for these morning shows and it'll be fine. Coffee brand coffee, huh? Yes. Big fan of Jeremy. But we are launching our own coffee shop and we'll have our own coffee brand soon with special blends like Rise with Roberto Jr. And the art is so awesome. And then we got Roberto Jr., the rooster on the back of one. And then the other one is Appalachian Nights. Very dark roast. So dark. I like dark roast. You know what? To be honest, I really like both. I really like coffee. I like the blonde roast at Starbucks. I just don't like Starbucks, but I gotta tell you guys, man. I have been trying so hard to go to mom and pop shops and they don't have heavy cream, or they'll lie and trick me. That's the worst thing. And so I find myself at Starbucks begrudgingly. I went to a cafe and I walk in and I said, "Hi, do you have heavy cream?" And they go, "We do." And I was like, "Can I get a small dark roast with heavy cream?" And they say, "Yeah." I'm watching the lady make the coffee. She opens the fridge, she pulls out half and half, looks over her shoulder, turns so I can't see what she's doing. She pours half and half in my coffee, and then she hands it to me and I look at it and I'm like, "Is that half and half?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then I said, "Okay, I asked you if you had heavy cream. Like, I don't, like, you could just tell me no." And then she's like, "Well, it's all we have." And I said, "Lady, you told me you had it and I gave you money for it." I ended up throwing it in the garbage. I was just like, dude, half and half is just basically milk. And then I walked into a Starbucks and I said, "Can I have a dark roast with heavy cream?" And they went, "Yep." And they reached right down, pulled out a thing of heavy cream, poured it in, said, "Here you go." And I was like, man, come on. There's a reason people go to Starbucks. Heavy cream's one of them. Soundscape Underground says, Mr. Bocus, when my cat was dying, I recorded his purring sound and turned it into a 12-hour ASMR. He slept at the foot of my bed for 13 years, so I played at night to help me sleep. It's therapeutic. Oh, that's very sad. I have been trying to, when he yells, to film him yelling because we don't know how long he's going to be around. He's young, too. He's only 4. Bomb Chew says, your dark roast really needs to be named something to do with graphene. No, we got to figure out Ian's special blend. And I think the graphene would be more like a medium dark roast. The Appalachian Nights is a heavy dark roast. It is like there's a dark roast and then we go one step beyond. Real bold, real dark, real chocolatey and earthy. Not burned, Patriot American says you should reach out to Black Rifle Coffee and see if you can get them to do a sponsorship of your coffee shops. Well, we're doing our own coffee brand, James Lamb says, love this idea, but I catch every show. I don't like change, so we'll have to adjust. Bro, segment is up at 10 a.m. like normal. You don't got to watch live. You know what I mean? Ghostbuster says, yes, bring on Salty. Love your work, Tim. Keep it up. Michael TB, instead of stand your ground, how about noble rooster, rule your roost? Perhaps. Devin Jett says, I'd love to see Ian get his own show where he can be random, wild, and express himself fully and not have to worry about derailing IRL. We just need him to not derail IRL, because that's pretty good. But we were talking about having Ian have a conversation with Steve Bannon, and I think y'all would really like it because then, like, the conversation around occultism and transhumanism would be nuts. Ian does know a lot of stuff. People, you got to understand, there's an issue of him understanding flow. He gets into his mind and he's not listening. But when Ian talks about like the fall of Rome and this historical stuff that he's been reading about, it's good stuff. It is. Liazdiak, Tim, a few months ago, you're talking about organizing a skateboarding event. Is that still happening? I work in the network sports broadcast industry. Would love to help. Yes. Right now the plan is we're going to do a 10-city tour, maybe 10, I don't know. Game of skate contest. Easier to judge. Did you land it or did you not? And then have it end with a big battle at Freedomistan. I like the barracks. If you ever, someone said, what the heck? I didn't turn this on to watch Tim play his guitar. I'm out. All right. Later, man. The clips will be up like normal. Watch the segments. Don't check out the stream's random. The stream is just random hangout. I like the barracks, but what I don't like is when they do the battle at the barracks game of skate contests. It's like you're a pro skateboarder. You're a pro skateboarder, so you get to come here and play skate against someone else. And I'm like, that's dumb, Johnny Geiger is like better than most of these guys. Just he should be in these contests. There's a lot of skateboarders who are like Instagram, YouTube fame skateboarders who are better at flip tricks. So what they end up doing is pros versus Joes. And I'm like, Joes? Like, dude, if Homeboy's got 1 million subs on YouTube and he's making money, he's more pro than you are. What, some company gave you a board? Bro, I got my name on a skateboard. Am I a pro skateboarder now? I sell them. Oh, it must be. Get out of here with that. You're pro when you're running a company making money off skateboarding. So again, not to rag on the Barracks. I like the Barracks. But we're going to do like an East Coast kind of thing that's going to be all action sports, not just skateboarding, but probably lean heavily skateboarding. What is this? D99 says, the episode of Crowder titled Undertaker Explains Mysterious Clotting Phenomenon was 100 times better than Died Suddenly. Interesting. People who are like, drop C guitar. I didn't come here to watch Tim play guitar. I don't know what anyone came here to watch. I've not done this before. We're just hanging out. That's all we're doing. I'm just live. I'm going to record in a second on this giggle thing. And then I'm going to start getting back to reading the news. But you guys should also super chat story stuff that you may be seeing. I like the guitar playing. So I started playing that song, and like everyone got mad at me. So I'm. It's just weird, experimental. I don't even know this riff. I like it. I write music I like, and then everybody was just like, "That's bad, Tim," and I'm like, "Okay, well, whatever." They're like, "That riff is too weird. It's discordant," and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know. I like it. It's the kind of thing I would listen to. It's whatever, whatever." Jesse says this channel should be a steady flow. You do the mornings, then you cut away to Pop Culture Crisis, and back to you at night. But no skipping around other channels. Once it shows are over, they're downloaded to their own channel. Interesting. JC says, kind of like this at my desk working while listening. If I miss something, I can check the clip later. Oh, I can save you money on the coffee shops I emailed. Yeah, this is one of the songs that I'm working on. And like Carter is like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I like it. And then I showed a few other people and they're like, that riff's kind of weird. And I was just like, here's the challenge of the music stuff. We got some good music guys we're working with, and they're like, we've got to hit songs like in this vein so you can get on the playlists on the radio and things like that. And they're right. But there's that tear where it's just like, I just kind of want to play what I feel like playing. And then people are just like, and then you'll make bad music no one will like. And I'm like, I don't know if I ever cared about that. You know what I mean? It's like whatever, man. Aquafan says, have you thought about a clips channel? I want to subscribe to IRL, but I don't want my subs flooded with clips I've already seen. I watch the live show. I'm a little OCD. There is a Timcast clips channel, and they're shorter, I found salvation as the fire's raging around me and people scream out for the rain again. Standing in the fires of defeat, standing tall with the skies above to see. I'll be with you until the ending comes. Some way, somehow, some way, somehow. Some way, somehow, some way, somehow. Something I'm working on. I'm going to put this away. Let's talk about news. Mr. Bokus is back there. I don't know if you can see him. He's just drinking his water. That's all he does is drink water. Pop Punk Timmy. Yeah, that's something I started writing a while ago. I got a handful of other songs, And I like the weird riff. I do like it. Where are we at? Alex Yanchuna says, first time super chatter, long time listener, digging the guitar. Chill for sure. Digging the not everyone likes it. Put it out as an acoustic only. I don't know, or we just make it. Fender Bender says auto-tune for the win. No, we don't auto-tune. What we do is there's compression, that's for sure. There is like production stuff that goes into it, but it's basically when we did Only Ever Wanted, I'm like, yo, that's hard for me to sing like that, Carter. And he was like, here's what I came up with. And so I just sing it like 70 times or something. That's really what it is. Did you know I left you there, staring at the heartache in my soul? Noah Sanders says, I've got a good friend who won a Grammy engineering with Ludacris. He's expressed interest in working with y'all and making music. Dr. Toronto on YouTube. Cool, man. Let's talk about this story and I'll record a clip. And then maybe at noon. Is that when the House is reconvening? I should actually pull that up. "46 minutes ago, are we... What is this? All right. Let me pull this over. There we go. Let's see. 11:50 a.m. is when that's going to kick up. So we'll be live for that. I'll just stay alive. We'll just chill. Chilling. Taryn Harwood says, OMG, I love you, Tim, but please stick to backup singing. Nope. Like, bro, you don't have to like my music. I don't know. I make songs. It is what it is. It's funny how Alex Inchunis says, because you got the last name pronounced correctly. Did I pronounce it correctly again? I don't know. I was talking to someone and I was like, oh yeah, we put out 3 songs and all 3 charted on Billboard. And they're like, what? And I was like, is that good? And apparently it is. So I get, if you guys don't like my music, that's cool. And there's a lot of music. I don't like Nickelback. I think Nickelback's really good. Not my kind of thing though. I say that on purpose because people like rag on Nickelback all the time. It's like, dude, that song How You Remind Me was Billboard #1 for like 6 weeks. Maybe that's why people are mad about it. What do we got? Amtrue says Politico's reported major concessions have been made by McCarthy. Ooh, let's pull that one up. Politico.com. There it is. Yup. I don't like how Politico formats their website. There we go. Oh, that one's on me. I zoomed in. All right. Should we do another segment on this one? Man, I don't know. I'm looking at the analytics right now to see how the live stream affects during the morning show. And there are more views overall, like kind of a lot, because obviously the live's been running for nonstop. And then the live show has the clip that I put up at 10 is doing like 75% as well as it normally would do. So, I don't know, it is what it is. That's what it is. Man. You guys want to know something apocalyptic? Let me do this. We're going to do a segment right now. We can talk about that giggle thing, but I'll do a segment right here. Got to pull up this story from the Post Millennial. If I can find it. There we go. Let's pull this one up. And then maybe the McCarthy thing we can get to as let's do this segment. Let's record. So we have this story from the Post Millennial. Recession predicted in 2023 for U.S. economy by economists at major banks. The survey of top economists cites dwindling pandemic savings, a decline in the housing market, and a tightening of lending rules as potential warning signs of an incoming recession. Oh boy. We talked about it a little bit last night. Not to mention the new COVID variant, threats of another lockdown. But I want to tell you about the coming recession, and I have a couple stories for you that I think are very important. I was on the phone with the guy. He does charter flights for PJs, and I was asking about the feasibility of costs and things like that. Because private jets aren't expensive as people realize. People think they're like completely out of touch or out of reach, but it's like, it's not as, it is expensive. Don't get me wrong, but it's not as expensive as people think. Like, let me just put it this way. It is expensive, but most people assume it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars. And you can charter a private jet for a couple grand in some circumstances, depending on where you're going. But anyway, I'm talking to this guy because I'm like, if we're going to send a crew of 8 people somewhere for a show and we want to save as much time as possible, let's talk about costs. Here's what he tells me. He says prices are through the roof. The cost has been ridiculous with COVID and everything. And he said one of the clients they have, macroeconomist, told him in the next 60 to 90 days, the market will be cut in half. What does that mean? I have no idea. Honestly, have no idea what that means. It just means the economy is going to do really, really bad. You know what I said to him? My friend, I believe it. And I'll tell you why. In March of 2020, when the lockdowns were starting, even before the lockdowns, revenue on YouTube was cut in half. Maybe that's what it means to see the market cut in half. So I'm looking at the ad rates that we get through YouTube, and I'm like, money's at half of where it normally is. Fortunately, we have good margins, so I was like, we're breaking even this month. But I'm like, if we go down again next month, wow, man, then we're going into the red. That's a scary thought. What had happened was small businesses seeing the lockdown stopped buying ads. Majority of the ad revenue comes from like a mom and pop shop or a restaurant in a local area. Same is true for like TV. It's not big buyers like Coca-Cola. This video, think about where you guys may be watching this video. Local restaurant nearby, Jim's Diner. They'll spend $300 in ads and they'll say to Google or Facebook, whoever, only in this area. You then watch that video. That $300 goes to YouTube. YouTube cuts me $200 and something out of that because the ad appears on my channel. When the ad rates dropped, it was because these small businesses were shut down and couldn't advertise. So that hit everybody. Some of these businesses were anticipating a collapse, so they stopped buying. December is the best month of the year for ad revenue. At the end of every year, you get all these big companies. Let's say Coca-Cola has a marketing budget of $50 million. It's probably more than that. They spend $1 million here or there. They come with campaigns. And then along comes December. Dude walks into the room and says, okay, it's December and we've got $7 million left in the budget. Like that's way more than we normally spend in a month. We got to spend it. If they don't spend it, the company may restrict their budget for next year. They may reduce it. Or it may be because they're like, look, we got to spend this money before the end of the year for tax purposes. December is always the best month. On YouTube, on everywhere, you see a huge spike in revenue. It is bonkers. It did not happen this year. That's scary. Whatever is going on this December, I noticed ad rates were down. And I said, wait a minute, man. It's one thing if ad rates don't move. It's another thing if the ad rates decline at the end of the year when the buyers are dumping their budgets. What is this? And of course, all the news is predicting a major recession. And that's where we're at. So I said, look, we were trying to do shows for the end of the month in December. I said to myself, maybe the issue is we can't. The ad rates are way down. People are canceling on us. Normally, it's like we try and push through the holidays because we know it's a big portion of the revenue for the year. But at this point, we would be struggling to generate half the revenue? I'm like, I need a vacation. No, I don't need one. I necessarily want one. But I got to say, my friends, I do think we are headed for more than just a recession. I think it's funny they're saying recession predicted. We're in a recession. If they're lying about the recession we're in, what do you think we're actually heading towards? For this charter guy to be like, my economist client, these are guys worth $25 million plus flying private jets, to say the economy is going to tank. That's a big warning sign. But what's Post Millennial have to say about it? 2/3 of top economists at the United States' largest financial institutions are predicting a recession in 2023, according to a survey conducted by the Wall Street Journal. Primary concerns cited in the survey of 23 primary dealers, including those from Barclays, PLC, Bank of America Corp., TD Securities, and UBS Group AG, were a dwindling of pandemic savings, a decline in the housing market, and a tightening of lending rules as potential warning signs of an incoming recession. The prediction follows a year of soaring inflation, accompanied by rapid interest rate hikes by the Federal Reserve that have risen from nearly zero in March to 4.5% by the year's end. The Federal Reserve reportedly plans to continue its increase to 5%, then 5.5% in 2023. Economists predict that this will force unemployment rates above 5%, resulting in millions of Americans losing their jobs. The central bank doesn't forecast a decline in interest rates until 2024 at the earliest, as it attempts a balancing act of attempting to lower inflation levels without triggering a recession. Excuse me. Inflation began to increase at the beginning of 2022, rising at its fastest pace in 40 years. It currently sits at 3 times the government's preferred rate of 2%. America's savings during the pandemic from decreased spending and government stimulus measures have started to dwindle. As consumers increasingly dig into weather rising prices of most products, from groceries to gas. Households have also increasingly had to take out lines of credit to afford their lives as total household borrowing increased by $351 billion between the second and third quarter to a total of $16.51 trillion, the fastest increase in 14 years. The highest interest rates have hit the housing market particularly hard as mortgage rates continue to soar. Home sales plummeted. I got these people selling properties. We're seeing properties pop up all over the place. And, man, they're really, really trying to offload their properties. So we bought a building recently, and I was actually worried. It's very expensive. And, you know, we financed it, obviously. And I'm talking to the lender, and I'm like, do you think it's a good idea to buy a property right now? Because we're gonna get how much, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars on this loan. And then the value of the property is going to tank. And the answer was, yeah, probably. But you'll be fine in the long run. I think that's true. I think you will be fine in the long run. But we got dark days ahead of us. Let me throw it to our good friend Cardi B. Cardi B. Cardi B slams Biden over inflation. Rapper says grocery prices have tripled and is outraged lettuce now costs $7 as she calls on president to put this ish down. Cardi B, 30, slammed anybody that is responsible over the rising costs of living. The rapper posted a video on Twitter claiming lettuce is now up to $7. She argued that something has to be done to help the middle and lower class, especially if she is noticing a dent in her $62 million net worth. $62 million net worth. Despite that, I can respect that she's calling out inflation because she's got family and she knows. While the wealthy rapper does not specifically name the president, she angrily demands anybody that is responsible to bring prices down immediately. There it is, man. Come on, dude. You just got to come out and say it, okay? This administration has been bad for everybody. The Democrats, their policies have been bad for everybody. Oh, you got breaking news up top. Russia calls for a 36-hour truce. Maybe we'll talk about that. When I go to the effing supermarket, I'm seeing that everything tripled up. That like lettuce was $2 a couple months ago, and now it's like effing $7. Yeah, dude, I see that milk. And I have a big problem. So I do want anybody that's responsible for these effing prices to put the F down. You know what bugs me out? I can respect this. I can respect that she's calling it out, but you're 2 years too late, dude. The people who didn't call this out years ago, the people who supported Biden, the people who voted for him, come on, man. You come out now, I got news for you. And I'm not saying it's Cardi B. With respect, Cardi B speaking out against this is a good thing. It's people don't understand how bad things are really going to get. They think that what they're seeing now is the result of someone in office. Dude, what you're seeing now is the massive spending on Ukraine. What you're seeing now is just the constant ripple effect from the lockdowns. It's going to get worse. All right? You can't just sit idly by, ignoring everything. And then when it gets bad, come out and be like, oh, this is a problem. Someone's got to stop it. This is a challenge. We all saw this coming in 2020. We knew that with Donald Trump, things were good. The economy was going well. We knew that if Biden got in, things would get bad. But so many of these people just hate Donald Trump. Now they're starting to feel it. So what's going to happen next? I don't know, man. 2023 is a primary year. We're going to start seeing the primaries. What is it? We got, I got pest control crew coming in. We're going to start seeing things are going to get a lot worse. But with the primary year, it's going to be interesting. The Democrats are going to now be like, the Republicans just took the House, and now they're jamming us up. Oh, that's why it's getting bad. Dude, that's where we go. And because of this, you will not see proper turnabout. The people who pay attention to politics know exactly what's happening and why it's happening. The people who don't are late to the party and vote against their own interests. Then they go and post memes claiming they're on the right side of history when they're consistently on the history of burning things to the ground. Here we go. Some people argue the rapper shouldn't be complaining about inflation since she's a millionaire. But the Grammy winner, who is no stranger to indulging in the finer things in life, including $10,000 Hermès handbags, is that how you pronounce it? Hermès? Quickly addressed the contentious comments and claimed that managing money helps to ensure the longevity of wealth. Let me tell you something. When I be complaining about food and all y'all MFers be like, ain't you rich? Why you complaining about lettuce? Why you complaining about this? That just goes to show me when you become successful, when you have money, you're going to effing go broke soon because y'all not budgeting. Here, Cardi B. Dude, I care about high prices. I care about when we're filling up the gas tank. I care about when we have employees who are going to pick up supplies for the office, and I'm looking at the receipt going like, what is going on, man? Look, we may do well here at Timcast. Cardi B makes a lot of money. But Cardi B did not become rich and successful wasting her money. People who waste their money end up not being rich and famous for very long. She says, I got a summary of the money that is being spent in my home every week. So when I'm starting to see that like groceries is tripling up, it's like, hey, yo, what the F is going on? I want to see for myself what the F is being spent on. The rapper owns a luxurious 20,000 square foot mansion in Atlanta, Georgia with her husband Offset. That's a cool name. The two share two children, Waveset 1 and Culture 4. Waveset and Culture? I dig it. Offset is also the father to sons Jordan, 12, and Cody, 7, and daughter Kalia Marie from prior relationships. Dude's got kids. Jordan, all right, it's a fine name. But Waveset and Culture, I like better. I like it when people give their kids names that mean something, right? Their $5.8 million dream home has 5 bedrooms with 7 bathrooms and 4.5 bedrooms. The property is complete with an underground shooting range and wine cellar. Yo, what? That is legit. Cardi B, you got an underground shooting range at your house? Dude, I am digging it. Here we go. Spiked grocery prices between November 2021 and 22. Meat and poultry is up 4%, 4.3. Cereal and baked goods, I don't need to know those glutens. Get those out of there, 16.4, don't care. Canned fruit and veggies, okay, that sucks. But those are also loaded with sugars. I ain't answering that door. Guy's knocking. I ain't doing it. We got milk, 14.7%. We got eggs up 49.1%. Fresh fruit and vegetables, 8%. Cardi B says, nah, grocery shopping prices are ridiculous right now. You might as well eat outside. Yo, what does that mean, eat outside? I don't know what you mean. You might as well eat outside? You mean like eat from your garden? Is that what you're saying? Why lettuce costs $6 where I live at? She's got kids. Yeah, look at that mansion, dude. Cardi B owns a $5.8 million home with her husband Offset in Atlanta, Georgia. Look at that. I'm jealous. Actually, I'm kind of not jealous. Like, what do you do with this room? Look at this. What do you do with a room like that? Honest question. I don't know what I would do with that. All right, what do we got here? Wow, wine cellar. I don't drink alcohol. I don't know what I would do with the wine cellar. Do they got a picture of the shooting range? Can I see the shooting range? No? Oh, man. What is this? Cardi B weighs on escalating situation between Russia and Ukraine. Politics is pop culture, my friends. This is where we are at right now. Politics is pop culture. That's just it. This lady has every reason not to talk about this. But I think she's starting to realize something's going wrong. Ain't something going right. I'm glad to see it. But I'm also kind of perturbed by it, to be completely honest. I'm glad she's bringing up the recession stuff. I'm glad she's talking about high prices. Regular people need to hear this, but she needs to say the name. Biden. She's got to call him out. She's got to call him out. 2023, 2024, we got a primary, we got a presidential election. We need to see in 2024, Republicans win back the Senate, take control of the House, keep control of the House, and Republicans win the executive branch. You want to see your prices come down? That's how you do it. You want to see things generally improve in this country? That's how you do it. And not the establishment Republicans. Nah. You got to vote in people who actually believe in this country. They're extracting from this country. I'll give a shout out to Dylan Ratigan, who said this something like 10 years ago. He said, Democrats are kicking the can down the road and Republicans want to burn the whole thing down. Now it's kind of inverted. Democrats are burning the whole thing down. Republicans are kicking the can down the road. The country is being gutted and destroyed. We cannot just keep going the same as it, we can't just keep it going. Status quo. The usual. Unless it's their plan, man. Unless that's the intention that they have, to watch this country crack. But I'll tell you, if Cardi B speaks out more, if more celebrities start voicing their opinions, then maybe people will actually change their minds. Because otherwise, it's going to get bad. Pandemic spending. You know what it is? It's modern monetary policy. Let's talk about that. What they do is they don't take your tax money so that they can spend it. That's a trick. It's technically the truth, but it's not really how it works. How it works is they make the money, they print the money, quantitative easing, Federal Reserve just dumps the money out, banks create the money upon the creation of debt. They tax you to control inflation. That's the real issue. They don't need to take the money from your wallet to spend it. They can make the money. They take the money from your wallet because if they spend too much, inflation runs wild and destabilizes the economy. This is why you hear Democrats saying, we got to tax the rich. They're not saying we should take money from the rich and then use that money to fund schools. They're saying we overspent, we overprinted, and now the economy is going to go into hyperinflation. That's why they're hiring 87,000 IRS agents. It's not because they need your money to buy things. It's because they overspent and they need to extract that money from the system. Here's how the game is played. If you went to your bank account, you had $100 in it, and then tomorrow you had $10 in it, you'd be like, yo, where my money at? You'd be pissed off. The IRS knows this. The federal government knows this. So what do? They print the money, spend it. It devalues your buying power, but you open your bank account, you see the $100 and think everything's good. Everything's fine. No, it's not good. It's not fine. They took your buying power from you without you realizing it. That's why Ron Paul was screaming gold, gold, gold. But those days have long since passed. Now it's cultural issues. The economy's been gutted. We've gone off a 9-to-1 reserve system to an infinite reserve system, meaning infinite fractional reserve. Not even fractional, it's infinite reserve, meaning they can just print infinite money. And you're seeing it in the M1 money stock. Let me see if I can pull that one up. Let me show you guys. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The M1 money stock. Here it is. Take a look at this. See this major spike? This was when they converted savings accounts into checking accounts. It increased the money supply 4 times, from 4 trillion to 16 trillion in the span of a month. The money supply increased that much. Then over the next several months, you can see they started increasing the money supply outside of checking accounts to the tune of, what are we looking at, 4 trillion. Only now has it started to go down a bit. Why is the money supply going down? That's interesting. It's because they're ripping it from the system. They spend your money without you realizing it, devaluing your savings, and this is what you get. This insane hockey stick. Look at this, man. Let me see if I can pull this up. Look at that. You go back to 2008 and you can really see it kick off. 2008, you see a bump. It's better off if we do this. You see, around 2008, there's like a 2x increase in the printing of money. I wonder why that happened. You go from 1.5 trillion to 4 trillion. Then the pandemic hits. Do you think this will not result in inflation? We've been warning about it. Cardi B, shout out. Thanks for speaking up on this one. I want to add, though, channels like mine and many others were calling this out a long time ago, and we warned this was going to happen. And it's not because I'm some economist. It's because I read the news. So my shout out to Cardi B. Read the news, man. You're seeing it hit you in the face, these prices. And I'm glad someone so prominent is speaking out. Start reading this stuff, and you'll be able to speak out sooner and help this country prevent this before it gets bad for you, for me, and for everybody else. For everybody else, man, I hope you've been paying attention. So I'm going to wrap up this segment with that. We'll grab a couple super chats here as we wrap this up. And then I think I'm just going to leave the stream running. And then but I gotta talk a little bit less. You can see I'm getting a little raspy. What do we got? Sparky says, Cardi B's reward for endorsing Biden was a Paris Hilton-style reality show. Yeah, there you go, I guess, man. The World says right-wing news is alarmist news. 2023 is going to be an economic golden age for the USA. Okay. All right, we'll see, man. $7. We're in 2023. We got $7 lettuce. But you know what? I'll give a shout out. Maybe you're right. One thing we are seeing is that a lot of other countries are desperately trying to buy up dollars to pay off their debts. And if that's true, the dollar is going to skyrocket in buying power. We'll see, man. I'm going to wrap this one up. Smash that like button, subscribe to timcast.com, all that stuff. Hanging out live on the youtube.com/Timcast. But I'll wrap this segment up. Thanks for hanging out. And I will see you on the next segment at 4 p.m. over at youtube.com/Timcast. Woo! Segment wrapped. I'm going to upload that one for 1 p.m. Look at all. Y'all already got to see it. We'll see how this works. We'll see how it plays out. And then, I don't know, maybe I'll grab a drink of water and make some eggs and just leave the stream running. Or just sit here and read the news. I don't know. Where are we at? Here we go. So we have this. That was me checking to make sure the file was not corrupt. One of the things I'm hoping to do is hire a producer who will do all this. So I just go live, I record the segment, they grab it, they clip it, they upload it, but it seems to work that I'm able to do it right here anyway, so maybe I don't need it. Maybe I'll do another 10-minute segment, too, in a second. I'll talk about that Giggle CEO. That'll be an interesting story. Right now, I'm just doing the back-end stuff for the YouTube clips. There we go, scheduled. Get those clips up. Check some emails. Rubin report. Oh, cool, I got some graphics. Got some new graphics to add to the live show. Having our graphic artist to make similar to the Timcast IRL intro, but just for Timcast. Got it. Some new info on the building. Cool. Just taking a look at that Federal Reserve, huh? The Flash Cash says, is it possible to put a coffee shop in Toronto? Maybe, but that might have to be someone else like franchising it or something. D.H. Lowton says it's like behind the scenes. That's what I was figuring. It's like, why not just go live? Scrambled with cheese and bacon. Here's what I do. Chef Andrew Gruel told me all the secrets. I throw the bacon in the pan. Frap the bacon. I don't like it too crispy. Then I throw eggs into the bacon grease. Scramble them up a little bit. Push them to the side. Splash some vinegar in the pan. I did apple cider vinegar yesterday. It was delicious. And then flip the eggs in it a little bit. Mix it around. Yo. Andrew Gruel, he said, it'll make your eggs go from a 5 to a 10. No joke. He was completely right. I can't even describe it. It's the weirdest thing. I don't like vinegar stinks. I open it, I'm like, ah. Splash a little bit of vinegar. I do like a tablespoon or two. I don't even know how much I'm supposed to do. Mix it around on the in the pan and get the bacon bits and all that mixed into it. Flip it around in the eggs. And it just, I guess the way I describe it is like fuller, you know? So this is the plan for the morning show. Once we have the new studio, maybe have like, if Phil is interested or Hannah Claire. So for this portion, it's like hanging out. I record my segments as I just did, upload them. And then the in-between, it's like just hanging out and we're talking and taking super chats and stuff. Timcast ASMR. Jago Dragon says, I'm at work listening and half watching. That riff that people hate, love it. You started and I was like, whoa, awesome. You see, that's what I'm saying, man. That's right. Surge X says, I eat liver in the morning. Good. Beef liver. Great Build says, Tim, you're a Net Plus and like the live segment. Also, as a FPV pilot, screw the FAA and their ignorance. Yeah. I think it was funny. I was actually the person who chose, it was me and one other guy, the first drone test location for, it was the Northeast Drone Coalition or something. So what we were told was that the U.S. government was trying to figure out the rules and regulations for drones. This is like 10 years ago. And they needed experts. I, of course, was one of them because I was the first person to do a live news report via drone and use a drone for news reporting. And then some other journalists showed up. We negotiated between these two locations. I told them in a consultation like all this stuff about drones, what I knew, and it was very rudimentary back then. Then I remember when they were passing these like permit requirements, I talked to them and said, "Can I get one of these?" And they said, "You got to fill out all the program and do all that stuff." And I was like, "Wait, my guy, you based the rules off of what I was saying." And they were like, "You got to get a pilot's license." And I was just like, "That's so silly." It's like they have me come in and consult, but then it's like, if you want to fly the drone, you have to go now and go through half the recommendations you gave to us. You know what I mean? No, I get it. Like there's FAA stuff I don't know about. That's for sure. But it's like, I got to take a test on things that I told you. That's funny. That's funny, man. I wonder if, I wonder if I just pull up Twitter. Let's put Twitter on the screen. Well, let's see what's going on Twitter. What's the news, man? Soros doubles donations to far-left group seeking to pack Supreme Court. Well, there you go. We got something here. Javon A. Price says, anybody else realize the House has spent more time debating about the next speaker than they ever did when it came to funding the war in Ukraine? Ha, 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 ha. That's right. That's how they do it, man. Yeah, maybe the morning show becomes like, we'll get Hannah Claire to hang out, and then, I'll get up, leave, go have coffee, and just do some general work stuff, come back, pop in and out, record my segments as I normally do. Hotep Jesus, if you don't read soul, you ain't got no soul. Correct. Soul's a smart guy. So right now, I think we're just waiting for the House session, man. 11:50 a.m. Eastern time. That's when we're gonna. That's when it's gonna happen. Other than that, I'm chilling. You guys are free to hang out and chat as we do our thing. Maybe I'll wrap the stream up in a little bit. I don't know. I don't want to because we've got the session coming up, and maybe I just put that live session up as the clip for 4 p.m. Pull up some stories. Cenk Uygur, he quotes some. Oh man, I got to pull this one up. Give a shout out to our good friend Cenk of the Young Turks. All right, check this out. It's telling that Republicans can't settle speaker vote with a legislative concession to the hard right wing. That's how this would normally end. But Republicans don't really have any difference in policies because there are no moderate Republicans. This is just a silly catfight. Sid Von Rip says, to say there's no difference between Matt Gaetz and Kevin McCarthy shows what an ignorant goof you are. And then he says, oh, did I lose it? Oh, okay, I lost it because it's some. Let me see if I can pull that one back up. Look at all that breaking news. He said, what is it? One hates minorities more? I'll just pull up Cenk Uygur's Twitter account. Let's see what the Young Turks are talking about today. If Matt Gaetz was serious about his job, he would use the leverage from the speaker fight to demand a vote in favor of his anti-corruption bills, which are actually pretty good, in exchange for voting for McCarthy, but GOP will never pass anti-corruption and Gaetz isn't serious. Here's what he said. Is the main difference which one hates minorities more? It's so lazy, Cenk. That's a lazy comment. They don't hate minorities. All right, this is a lazy comment. Lazy comment. Doggington says, you know how older people keep legacy news on their TV all day to catch news? Timcast Live could be a modern person's way to do the same thing. I could keep your stream up all day to catch real news. But we need Hannah Claire. So, I mean, Hannah Claire's probably watching, or someone probably is. So that way, maybe we just tomorrow will go live in the IRL studio and just go live. And then we can do it that way. We get super chats too. It was funny. Someone yesterday was like, Tim wants to go live just to milk super chats. Milk them? Like people are super chatting. I don't know. What do you call it? Like money in exchange for a product or service? It's called running a business. Jank yogurt. That's what people call him. That's what people call the guy. Black Knight says, I like Chillcast. I like Chillcast. Jordan asks, do you have an audition process for choosing your DM for D&D? I make my own maps and have other production skills. You talk to Ian. He knows more about it than I do. D99 says, I saw gold is predicted to hit 2,200 an ounce this year. That is a $400 increase from now. Also, CDC removed defensive gun use states from website. Very interesting. 100 Skigi says, Tim, big fan. I look forward to your and Crowder's shows every morning to get me through the day. Any advice for a guy like me to get started on a YouTube channel? Just start making stuff. You've got to get good at it. You got to start making it. Eventually, you'll get good at it. Here's what I think I'm going to take a break. I think I'll just take a break and then go live again, maybe around noon, and use that for the youtube.com/Timcast channel. I'm just trying to figure it out. Take a break, cook up some eggs and bacon, and then come back in time for the I guess, for the House vote. You know, I was thinking about it, and I was kind of like, why even turn the stream off if that's the case? So it's like, yeah, maybe there's something else we got to do. This is why I think we got to do it in the studio, because then, you know, there could be like Hannah Claire or someone else just hanging out, and we could just let it run. And letting it run is a really, really good idea. People are saying, no, don't leave. Put the chickens on. 24-hour stream. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Considering we're doing things fast and loose, I'm going to wrap this one up so I can sort of get things sorted and figure things out. So I'll leave it here. And got a segment coming up at 1 p.m. on this channel, and then the 4 p.m. over at Timcast. Maybe I'll go live at noon again. We'll figure it out. But I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for hanging out for this little 2-hour stream we just did, and we'll see how things go. And I'll see you. We'll figure it out. I think I might go live again on this channel. and then upload the clip to the other channel. So we'll see how we can make it work. Someone says put Chicken City on. I mean, I guess you guys can go to Chicken City right now if you want to watch Chicken City. But this is just like a random thing. I woke up today. I was like, I should go live. There's no real plan. I think maybe tomorrow we'll do it in the IRL studio so that I can keep it running live nonstop and then have some people just hang out in studio. So we will figure it out. Someone says put on some random informational loop. That would be cool. For the time being, I don't have that available. So no, thanks for hanging out. And I'll be back in a little bit. Take a quick break, grab some lunch, figure things out, and then we'll come back for that House vote. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.